peaceful spot. What a pleasant surprise. Definitely favors him in this illustration. I don't know if they based the illustration off the movie. And so we begin this Roadside Attractions, Roadside Oddities adventure in South Carolina. South Carolina ratified the U.S. Constitution, became the 8th state of the United States, May 23rd, 1788. It's good to be back in what is known as the Palmetto State, a name that honors the sable palmetto tree and its role in the Revolutionary War. I just learned that. And right here, as I'm almost to Rock Hill, South Carolina, I pulled over because it seems to be an abandoned boiled peanut stand. I actually see boiled peanuts right there. Do you see it? I can barely make it out. This place has seen better days. And look at this. I just picked up some peanuts at Sheetz back in North Carolina this morning. They're not boiled, but they're still peanuts. And guys, I have always wanted to check this out. Welcome to the Museum of York County. I've already parked in the parking lot. I came out here to show you the grand brick gates. Inside here, I'm gonna sum it up for you first, but inside here is one of the largest and rarest collections of animal taxidermy in the world. Trigger warning, a lot of dead animals. This place has been here since the 1950s. It actually began in 1950, and the collection inside got so big, they created this brick building in 1965. And I've been wanting to stop by here for years. I marked it on my map, and throughout today's journey, we're gonna be showing not only this museum, inside this museum, but some other fascinating oddities of South Carolina. Today the museum focuses primarily on the natural history of the Carolina Piedmont, but the enormous taxidermy collection remains part of its identity. Its collections now extend into fossils, skeletal remains, rocks, and minerals, preserved specimens, and thousands of natural history objects. So this is kind of like a naturalist museum. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time in Rock Hill for me. The Museum of York County is very legendary in these parts, and it's open only certain times of the day. And oddly enough, today is Sunday. They are open from 1 to 5, and I believe on Sundays it is free admission. I lucked out. We'll see. I'm not so sure. I just read that somewhere online. If not, I'll let you know what the cost is on any given day here if you want to come check it out. I'm also going to make a couple stops after this on my way through South Carolina, a revolutionary battlefield where we'll talk more about the palmetto tree and the history of South Carolina. Who knows what else we're going to see, but it's going to start here with a lot of dead stuff. Yeah, welcome to the channel. Let's get exploring. As I always say, there's much ahead, meaning let's get in there. All right, there's plenty of parking here. There's actually quite a few cars in the parking lot. This is a really nice building. At first glance, I thought it was a school. Here's the side hours on the door. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5. Sunday, 1 to 5. Closed Monday. So only closed Monday.
So I'm guessing you are one adult, am I right?
Oh, that's it.
Very good. I like coming by myself because then you can read everything.
Yeah, take your time.
About anybody else, yeah. This is today, then 600 years ago, like bison, and then back to the Ice Age.
Oh, Ice Age,
okay,
cool. Really
cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then the Miocene is actually pre-Ice Age.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's our newest exhibit. It's right across the hall.
Okay.
And here is the more exotic animals, and there are 4.
Okay, this place is massive. I did not expect it to be so big. They have a planetarium. They have a show going on. They have exhibits that are traveling in and out of this museum, and it was not free. I must have read something wrong. $12, but that's not bad. I don't know where to start. Maybe we'll start here in the Springs Gallery. Miocene and Pliocene, beasts of the southeast. Man, that all rhymes. That's so cool. Okay, already seeing some taxidermy in here. This is so nice. I'm gonna take a look around. The attention getters are these skulls right here, and this guy right here, whoa, hogging the spotlight. Wow, During the ages leading up to the Miocene, strange pig-like creatures known as entodonts entered North America from Asia. Although they were more closely related to hippos than to true pigs, they were probably omnivores and scavengers. Daeodon, meaning hostile tooth, was the largest. The last of their kind died out by the middle Miocene. A real skull of an African elephant. Check out the teeth in there. Wow. Never seen one of these up close. And then this skull over here, I don't recognize it. Someone else might. We're just gonna look at it as I walk over and read the tag. Notice the tusk there. This is a Gomo Fothere cast of a fossil skull. So this one's not real. If you know what a Gomo Fothere is, then you know what that is. I see something that's really sticking out to me right there. What is that thing right there, right? What is that? Looks like a giant beaver. This is a wolverine, actually. I did not think they were that big. Wow, if I saw one of those in the wild, I'd freak out. Also one of those. We got a boa constrictor, taxidermied. We've got a possum over here, an armadillo. Ooh, and we got sounds. Did you hear that? That's crazy. I wonder what this claw is right here. It says Jefferson's ground sloth arm and hand. Don't know what that means, but it does say below that, see full size modeled in Ice Age Carolina's exhibit. So remember this. When North America and South America were connected by the small strip of land we know as the Isthmus of Panama about 3 million years ago, numerous species crossed in the Great American Biotic Interchange. Even before the land bridge, some small animals may have rafted, floated across a large mats of vegetation. Others may have island hopped across bodies of water. And they're insinuating that's what happened to the opossum, or as we call it, the possum. All right, so we have a Canadian lynx here. We've got a small spotted genet. Looks like a squirrel and a raccoon kind of mix. This is all real, guys. I don't know if this is real. These are reproductions of, it's got the Latin names, Meganatorian, Exnosmilus, and Macharodus, and I pronounced those all correctly. All right, this is the largest grouping of taxidermy yet. I believe these are African species. Over here it says history of the hedger. Notice the little baby guy up here. Looks like a baby. Oh, it's a baby antelope, royal antelope. It says taxidermy 1973. Most of these have their Latin name. I'm just going to spare you the butchering and tell you when they were acquired. 2009, 1994, this one right here, 2002, this one right here, 1977. He's been here for quite some time. And this guy, last but not least, over here, 1981. You can see the Latin name there before. And then, oh, I lied. Last but not least, this guy acquired 1960. So he's been here before this building was even erected. Right, that's just one room, and I just gave you a little bit of highlights. This is pretty gnarly right here. Imagine coming up against that thing. And we're gonna head down the hallway here, see what we run into. There's exhibits behind the case in the hallway. Some more taxidermy. This is cool. It's representing basically how they construct all the exhibits here. We've got the paint brushes, the tools, the art easels, and they're going through the process. One step in the process, clear acrylic resin is used to create water, and dioramas ground white styrofoam over cotton batting creates the look of ice crystals and snow. And here's 3 steps in the process. They're kind of showing you there how it's supposed to look at the end right there. Whoa, Eye of the Tiger. Holy cow. Massive cat, the most massive cat there is, I believe, the tiger. It's talking about camouflage. Almost all animals wear some sort of camouflage. Protective coloration of camouflage aids both the hunter and the hunted. And yeah, it would be very hard to see a tiger in a bamboo forest. For example, a lot of animals only see in black and white. And somewhere in that photograph, there's a tiger. See, it's fooling me. Whoa. Okay, we've reached the Carolina Piedmont 600 years ago. And it looks like we can enter left or right. I think I'm gonna go straight there because I see a bison straight ahead. Ooh, creepy. Tatonka. They've got this huge diorama with the tree and the rocks and some river rocks. Also, there's some birds in here. Always love seeing a buffalo out in the wild, alive. This one was massive. Oh yeah, we got a winter display back here. We've got a bald eagle, and he's caught a fish there down in his talon. America's bird. It's really pretty, huh? And the main feature in here is the grassland and garden diorama, and it is set to the winter. We've got a display. It looks like we've got an elk that has been downed, and also a wolf over there, a gray wolf, and a black vulture over the top of it. There's two gray wolves. And then over here is a high-speed cotton rat all the way in the corner. You gotta look for it. It's somewhere. I think he might be right there. And the way I found that is because there is a map right here displaying where all the animals are. See? Poor elk there got taken out by the wolves. There's a little bit of there's a little bit of red in the snow. You got red on you. The parakeet was the only parrot native to North America. It was abundant throughout the southeastern United States. To protect seed crops, farmers shot or netted large flocks of these birds. Their colorful feathers were also valued in Europe as ornamentation for hats. Oh, poor parakeets. I didn't see this guy up here. Look at that. We've got a panther. He's an eastern cougar. Also, there's other stuff in here I didn't see. There's a gray squirrel. We got the woods bison, and there's a snapping turtle. Cougar. Where's the snapping turtle? Do you see it? I see the squirrel. The squirrel's right there. Snapping turtle? He's hiding. He's probably in the rocks somewhere. Someone's probably spotted it. I can't see it. Oh, he's over here. Right there. Okay guys, this is the main exhibit as far as taxidermy. Welcome to the Naturalist Center. It's not just something to see, it's something and somewhere we can educate ourselves. As you can see, there's like a classroom identification manual. So they're not all labeled. You can use that manual. I'm just gonna go down the row here. Check out that porcupine. Got a little hedgehog down here. Hey hedgehog. Got a fox. There's a black squirrel there. Just saw one of those in Pennsylvania a couple weeks ago. Wow, oh, you gotta look everywhere. This is the largest diorama I've ever seen. It goes all the way down the wall, takes a right, just to show you what's going on here. Holy crap. Oh, we've got some giant bears over here. Black bear, polar bear. Wow, looks like a big grizzly there. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Alright, the chimp is all the way back in the corner there. I'm using my map to like hide the glare there. It's a pretty massive display. I also saw there's a monkey in there too. See the monkey right there? We're just gonna walk down the glass for a little bit. This is impressive. Looks like we have some prairie dogs here. Oh yeah. Looks like a bug a bug house there. It's actually a termite mount. I've always seen these in like movies. Always wondered what it looked like inside. Some giant termites, man. It's gotta be the queen, right? That big one. This critter on the tree. Never seen one of these before. It's called a pangolin. It's got like scales and it's got a tail. Kind of reminds me of a armadillo. Got an aardvark down here. Over here we got, looks like a water buffalo. He's massive. Wow. It's the biggest animal so far. Starting to see zebras. He's actually a Cape buffalo. There you go. Cape buffalo. There's so many critters in here. Wow. The scenes are done so well. I feel like I'm on a movie set. Here's the corner. Let's read a couple of these signs to see what's over here. I definitely spot a warthog right there. Yeah, warthog. Then we got some sheep at the top. Pretty nice. Nice sheep. Ooh, we got a baboon somewhere. There he is right there. Baboon. And I walked right past the hyena. Alright, here's the scene in the corner. Check this guy out. He's definitely the largest animal in here besides the giraffe. Definitely the tallest. Wow. This is an antelope. I didn't realize how big they are. They're dinosaur size. Wow. Males can weigh up to a ton. Wow. The giant eland lives in small herds and gazes the open woodlands and grasslands of western and central Africa. The giraffe is measured to be 20 feet. Check out this giant ruler they have here. 6 foot. Giraffes are 6 feet tall at birth. Automatically 6 feet. That's amazing. And here are the regions where you can find African giraffes. Looks like they have different patterns depending on where they're from. I did not realize that. Cool. That means this one kind of looks like this pattern here. Baringo giraffe. All right, we can touch, we can pull drawers open, we can educate ourselves here. We've got the skulls all set out, nicely tagged. This is a tiger skull. Never seen a tiger skull before. I think that is real. Wow. Displayed right here are invertebrates. They've got some stuff in the jars to look for you. Here you go. Here's a squid in a jar. Ooh. And we've got a centipede. Oh no, this is the centipede. Praying mantis here for you. We've got a blue morpho butterfly. It's really pretty. Show one more of the invertebrates for you. What's that look like? Oh, it kind of looks like the pod from Alien, but it's not. It is a sea cucumber. I don't know. Would you eat it? Okay, so got an alligator over here. Got some snakes in there. This is the back wall. Owls, a lot of birds. Got a wolf right there. Cabinet B mammals. Whoa, this is so nice. Looks like we're pulling out jaws and teeth. That's so nice. What is this? Right mandible leopard? There is a question mark there. These are partial deer teeth. This is a baboon canine. Oh man. You do not want to get bit by a baboon. Look at this, porcupine quills. You can actually touch one. These are in the case, but they got one out here. Those are pretty sharp. A bat. Whoa. That's pretty cool. That would be some cool decor for the homestead. Not gonna lie. Got the mighty moose up here. Alaskan moose. Alaskan Yukon moose. Look at the rack. Amazing. I've never seen a moose in the wild. One day. Someday. Gotta move the camera around a little bit so you can see some of this taxidermy that we haven't showed you yet. There are thousands of animals in here, most likely hundreds, but it feels like thousands. What do you guys think of this museum so far? I think we're maybe halfway done. It's pretty wild, no pun intended. Alright, so here's the room we last left off. I believe down here. Ooh, this is the Ice Age. Oh my gosh, this is spooky. Ice Age of the Carolinas. It's a dark room. I like it already. Exploring our Pleistocene past. The lost world at our doorstep. If you could travel back in time, you would find the Carolinas a very different place during the Ice Ages. Scientists call this period in Earth's history the Pleistocene epoch. It began about 2.6 million years ago and ended 11,700 years ago. Pleistocene epoch. It began about 2.6 million years ago and ended 11,700 years ago. Starting to hear like animal noises. Bird noises? Whoa, speaking of bird, what is that? Holy cow, the Carolinas Serengeti. Here's this creature right here. Imagine stepping back into time by the early Pleistocene. The Carolinas landscape and wildlife, antelopes, hyenas, zebras, and cheetahs call to mind today's African savannas. All these animals used to be here. Check this out. It's a zebra. I don't know what this is. It's not labeled, but it's pretty creepy. It is terrifying. I know someone at home that doesn't want to see this. South American connections. Looks like we have a capybara over here. That's what it looks like to me. But massive. Imagine coming across an armadillo this size. Wow. It's the size of a cow. Maybe a little wider. Check this out. How tall are you compared to a mastodon? Even got one of its bones there. Okay. Am I the only 90s kid that thinks of Power Rangers when they hear mastodons? Black Rangers? Ooh, okay, here we go. Now it's time to play How Tall Do I Mine? Not as tall as a mastodon. It's morphin' time. Okay, that's spooky. Ooh, sound effects, I love it. So this is called a short-faced bear. One of the most massive prehistoric mammals. That thing was freaking huge. Oh my gosh. I'd say, yeah, 10 feet tall at least. It's a recreation of one of its skeletons that was found. This is by far one of the best exhibits yet and most massive. Check this out. We also can climb up here. Looks like they have an observatory. That's neat. Okay. Wow. What is that? That's creepy. Oh, this is neat. Wow. Okay, bird's eye view. I have never seen anything like this place. So cool. This is how the mammoth would see these creatures, would see its neighbors. I was hoping it would tell us up here what each of these animals are, but it doesn't. I do see a lion over there. Whoa. Staring into our soul. Also over here on the rock, a wolf. And then over here it looks like a cheetah. I think that's a cheetah. Hard to tell from this distance. African animals in North America. I did not know that. Learning stuff. There's something in that tree right there. What is that? Ah, looks like we could climb under the rock here into the hole if we wanted to. Something for the kiddos. Oh, wow. Holy cow. Okay. Wow. Ice Age survivors. So all of these animals survived the Ice Age. Skeleton Jefferson's ground sloth. Remember I said remember? It is actually right over there. First room, claw, belonged to that creature right there. We've got a tapir in there, a mountain lion, we've got the beaver, warthog, wild boar, lions, cheetahs, elephant, a capybara. Capybara's right over here. Capybara. All right, that beast down there is Jefferson's ground sloth. I thought it looked kind of slothy. I wonder if it was slow like the sloth of today. Could be fast as the bear. Could be slow as the sloth. I have learned something today. I never knew this creature existed. He is massive. Starting to exit this room from field to lab. Looks like we've got some bones in here. And we're actually going this way, past this mural, into the fossil lab. Oh wow. Once a fossil arrives from the dig site to the lab, it must be cleaned and prepped for storage, study, and display. One side of the protective plaster jacket is carefully removed. The technician uses small picks, drills, and brushes to gently remove rock from the upper part of the fossil. It's pretty neat. There's a picture of an actual lab. Got a mammoth tooth here, a mastodon tooth, a bison jaw, a black bear jaw. And this is the end of this exhibit. That was really cool. I think that's my favorite one so far, just because I learned so much. Really neat. What do you guys think? All right, I think we just have to go to the far end, and there's just a couple more spots to check out. Okay, so here is the entrance to the planetarium, exploring the Carolina skies and beyond. Looks like the next one is at 3:30. Don't know if I want to stick around for that long. It's about 45 minutes away, so I got to get going down the road to tonight's hotel, and we have other stuff to see. All right, we've made it to the creature feature, the bloodsuckers exhibit. We've got the mosquito. We've all been bit by you, and they have like a lamprey over here, just kind of like a leech. It says pull here to see the loose move, or louse move. Oh interactive. That's cool. Hi, how you doing? Don't mind me, I'm just a louse. Have you ever heard of the kissing bug? We got a blood-sucking kissing bug, kind of like a vampire. Oh cool. All right, this is kind of wacky. Oh neat. Oh yeah, this is very Roadside America. This is cool. Attack the bloodsuckers. It's the science of what's eating you. Meet Mrs. Philippa Tick. She'll grow on you. Acting 101 with Jay. I've heard of Twister, but I've never heard of Twitcher, the game that ties you up in knots and makes you itch. We've got all kinds of bugs here. Oh, that's cool. You've got this awesome background, this backdrop over here as you're playing Twitcher. Let's spin it. Let's see what we get. Left hand bed bug. Got it. Right hand dog flea. Okay, this is as far as I'm going right there. I quit. Talk suckers back. All right, this is a funny diorama here. Who made this? It looks like we have interactive buttons in here. Are these animatronics? See what happens.
My larvae have been called by some aquatic cows, and for this we deserve to take some bows. Our larvae eat aquatic vegetable matter and proceed to get fatter and fatter. Changing low energy foods into high energy snacks, we become food for others and must watch our backs.
Okay, that was amazing.
Wait just a minute and think this through several moments more. Ticks are not simply about blood sucking and gore. We are very hearty arachnids, able to withstand extremes of cold and heat. Our hard, flat bodies provide protection from predators that just can't be beat.
Hey, wait a minute. You're making a big mistake. Let me spell out my attributes as an inhabitant of this large
This is a
lake.
genius.
I provide food for turtles, aquatic birds, and fish. They all think I'm a most delicious dish.
All right, last but not least, check this out. Here you go.
Black flies are more helpful than you might think. The blood of humans is not what we all drink.
Ooh, cup of blood.
Our larvae are filter feeders in a stream or river, and cleaner water is what we deliver. We cannot survive in dirty H2O. So finding us in abundance is a sure sign that pollution is low.
Okay, that was fantastic. Whoever built this, kudos. Great job. What's in the box, right? At a half mile, deploy chemical sensors to find invisible breath trail. There's a blue button here. Okay, it says push for a few seconds. Watch how the breath flows and breaks into small wispy threads. A mosquito can sense wisp of breath up to a half mile away. Ooh. That's creepy. Had no idea. Oh, it's coming out. The fog. Into the fog. That's not the fog I want to go into, though. Okay, I'm blown away by this museum. This was a pleasant surprise. This is a hidden gem. They also have something called the Tot Town, which I can just show. I'm not allowed to play in there. No one's in there right now, so it's a cool opportunity to show you what's going on inside the kiddie room, the Tot Town. All kinds of stuff for kiddos to do. And just like any other roadside attraction, we exit through the gift shop. And it was your typical gift shops. A lot of good stuff in there, a lot of local crafts and plushies. Look what I bought. After seeing Bloodsuckers, I wanted something to remember it by, but I remembered someone else. This is for someone back home. I got a little mosquito plushie. What'd you guys think of that? I was there for an hour and 20 minutes. I honestly thought that was only going to take me like a half hour to 45 minutes. And I barely showed you anything. If I were to stay there, read everything, you'd be in there all day. Come and check them out. I hope you get out here. It's just south of Charlotte, about 20 minutes from Charlotte, North Carolina. And you would never think by the look at this building and the name, Museum of York County, you would have seen what you just saw inside this building. The most massive collection of taxidermy I've ever seen. And education. So much to learn in there. I learned so much just by walking through it very fast. And one last thing, they told me on my way out that they have a family fossil dig here on September 19th. And each year they do a Harry Potter themed exhibit. So check out the website. I'll put in the link below. And also there's a nature trail out back if you want to check that out as well. And now we come to the Catawba River Trailhead in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Looks like a parking lot before the trail. The river, actually you can see it right here. There's a bridge out here, a historic bridge I wanted to stop here and take a look at. Nice city park here. Got a restroom. Here's the trail. Share the trail. Looks like doggies, people, and bicycles all permitted to walk on this little trail. And vloggers, I'm sure, right? Little walk down the bend here. And I think we're gonna hang a left right there at that stop sign. That's a pedestrian stop sign. A covered bridge underneath a bridge. How often does that happen? That's the bridge I'm looking for, the steel one. The covered bridge, the wooden one, is just a surprise. Got cooler here. This bridge is longer than I thought. Check it out. Here's the foundation of this historic trestle bridge. Here's an old railroad bridge. You can see it better as we're crossing here. There you go. Neat. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get a better view over here. All right, looks like we can walk down here and get a better view, but check it out. Bridge spanning across the Catawba River. Oh yeah, look at this. Nice. Wow. Catawba River. Awesome. And this is the Nation Ford Railroad Trestle Bridge. It crosses the Catawba River right here in Rock Hill. The original crossing was built in 1852 by the Charlotte and South Carolina Railroad Company. And that bridge was actually burned down during a conflict in the Civil War. Federal troops burned the original trestle on April 19th, 1865, sparking a sharp battle with Southern forces that resulted in a Union retreat. Confederate President Jefferson Davis also crossed here just days later on April 27th, 1865, as he traveled west to try to reorganize the Confederacy. And that bridge was rebuilt, and in 1916, a flood known as the Great Flood of 1916, like many early regional structures, the post-war rebuilt trestle was completely washed away by the massive floodwaters of July 17th, 1916. And then shortly after, they rebuilt this bridge following the disaster. And this has been here since 1916, 110 years old. And it has not been an active train bridge for 25 years. 2001 is when they disconnected this railroad bridge. It's just sitting here. So it technically is abandoned. A peaceful spot. What a pleasant surprise. Never know what you're gonna find. Just go an extra step. Some really cool history hiding back here. Rock Hill, South Carolina. Come check it out. This trail is nice too. It goes all the way down the Catawba River. Okay, I've just parked on this pull off a park. We got a cornfield across the street. This is Buford, South Carolina. This is a historic Revolutionary War battlefield that is pretty infamous. Welcome to the Buford Massacre battlefield, the Battle of Waxhaws. Now there's several signs, there's monuments behind me. We're going to take a look and we're going to talk about what happened here. I marked this on my map a couple years ago when I learned about this history, and it's finally going down today. It was a little out of my way, but it was very close to where we last left off. This looks like the main sign here. There's a brick wall. Buford Massacre, 1780. It's a beautiful time to come here and talk about this tragedy, the golden hour. On May 29th, 1780, just a couple of weeks after the British captured Charleston, Colonel Abraham Buford and his Virginia Continental troops were retreating north towards safety. They were pursued and eventually caught here by British and Loyalist forces under Lieutenant Colonel Banastre Tarleton. Tarleton demanded Buford surrender, but Buford refused, and the British cavalry launched a devastating attack. The American line was quickly overwhelmed, and more than 100 Patriot soldiers were killed, with many more badly wounded. Accounts from survivors claim that men continued to be cut down even as they tried to surrender, although exactly what happened during those chaotic moments is still debated by historians. What happened here became known as Buford's Massacre and helped give Tarleton a nickname, Bloody Tarleton. And the massacre that happened right here was such a brutal defeat for the Americans, and word got out all over the colonies. And it was this moment right here that was a rallying cry for the Patriots. Remember Waxhaws would be said until the end of the war, and it helped them recruit young colonists to ultimately defeat the British. So this was a very tragic but monumental place for the Americans during the Revolution. Okay, this sign's really cool because it actually breaks down the battle and puts it here along the road here so you can see what was going on. It looks like they were facing each other like this way. Colonel Buford in the blue here, and here are the British over here. You got Kinloch, Corbett, Cochrane, and Tarleton, and we are right here. So Tarleton would have been right over here to the right. We are standing right behind Buford's line, and the wagons and artillery are back towards the highway over there. There's a crossroads right there. So right here we're standing at Buford's line. If you've ever seen Mel Gibson's The Patriot, which is one of my favorite Revolutionary War films, the colonel, the British colonel in that movie is based off of Tarleton. I think his name is like Tavington in the movie, but that was inspired by Tarleton, and he had that reputation in real life as he did in the movie. Both different names inspired. If you haven't seen The Patriot, check it out. It's a great film if you like that kind of stuff. It's basically Braveheart but set during the Revolutionary War. Those movies are very similar. Here on this sign is an illustration of the commanders, Abraham Buford. He lived to be a very old man, died in 1833, many years after the Revolution, and coincidentally, Banastre Tarleton died in 1833 as well. Look at that. Banastre Tarleton does look like the Colonel from the Patriot. I can't remember the name of that actor, but he definitely favors him in this illustration. I don't know if they based the illustration off the movie, but that is a striking resemblance right there. Here's another historic plaque here on this site. Colonel Abraham Buford's force of about 350 American patriots while returning to Hillsborough, North Carolina, following the fall of Charlestown, were overtaken by British troops commanded by Colonel Banastre Tarleton. It is historically told that the Patriots' white flag of surrender was disregarded as Tarleton's forces massacred the Americans. And there are scenes like that in the Patriot. And behind this fence, this memorial, you probably already guessed what's going on here. Take a look. As you can see, this monument here is very old. There's a sign here before me. This is the mass burial of the Continentals, the Patriots that fell. 84 bodies upon that massacre. They fell and they were buried right here. And right here is a random grave. Perhaps a soldier that fell. That must have been the front line. This soldier fell right here. You can't read the headstone. Just imagine the cannon fire, how loud it was, the screaming, the yelling, the roar, the smell of gunpowder, the cries. Buford's battle flag was made of gold, yellow silk with painted central design of a beaver felling a palmetto tree. Check that out. The beaver and the palmetto tree design was suggested by Benjamin Franklin, and this image was also used on the Continental $6 bill. And remember in the beginning of the video when I said that the palmetto, South Carolina's tree, became a thing during the American Revolution? Well, in 1776, on Sullivan Island in Charleston Harbor, the British attacked present-day Fort Moultrie. And upon that island, that fort was built with palmetto logs. Cannonballs were fired into the fort walls, and it was the spongy palmetto logs that absorbed the blast, and it did not splinter like a regular log. And that, my friend, is why the palmetto was chosen as the symbol of South Carolina. It was a hero in one of the first battles of the Revolutionary War, and eventually they would adopt it as the official symbol of South Carolina too. Now, I have ancestors that fought in the Revolutionary War on all sides of my family. Kings Mountain specifically. I have a couple grandfathers that fought at Kings Mountain, and they were both on the colonial side. I think most Americans, with the exception that are still living here today, that have grandparents that far back during the Revolution, were probably on the Patriot side. Just guessing. Explore the Waxhaws battlefield. They even have a QR code for you so you can listen along. Alright guys, it is 4 minutes shy of 6 o'clock. I've got a 3-hour drive ahead of me. I think I'm going to end it right here. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what your favorite part was. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you want to add anything to this battlefield or anything I showed today down there in the comment section. That's how you become part of this endeavor. Thank you so much for watching me. This is like the 3rd day of this road trip, and I'll be on the road for a few more days. I'm going to be traveling all the way through the end of August, through September and October, and I look forward to seeing you there. I have all kinds of adventures planned, and all kinds of different content, and that's all I'm going to say right now. I'm going to jump in my car and get going to tonight's hotel, and hopefully get some sleep. I had a late night last night in North Carolina at Woods of Terror Haunted House, and I didn't get much sleep last night, so hopefully catching up tonight and be refreshed tomorrow. And I hope to see you tomorrow too. I should be filming a video tomorrow, of course, and who knows what we'll find. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. Know you're awesome, know you're loved, and no matter who you are, and no matter what you're going through, just know that there's always much ahead. I came in peace and I leave in peace. I want to thank everyone out here who fought and died. Thank you for your service, and I was glad to come here today. Remember, pay my respects. That was a cool moment here during the golden hour. The Buford Massacre. Did you know about that? Honestly didn't know about it. I knew about the battlefield, but I didn't know all about it until I got here and started researching. And I'm glad it came by. It's a beautiful spot. It's very peaceful out here. Alright, goodbye South Carolina. Hope to see you soon. Bye guys. Thanks for watching my videos. It means a lot to me. Gotta hit the road.